Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Study Desk of Anand. So in this video we are going to see a casting functions used in BigQuery. So we know that all the data which we received initially are the cluster data, like they are the in row format. So those are not like 100% valid or the curated data that we can directly use for our production work or to the website. So we can see that for demonstration, I have created a sample data that is order date having some invalid string and amount also having some invalid string. We need to fix them. Like initially, all the data that we have in a string format, we need to cast them to the appropriate so that like our date, order date in date format, amount in the float, or quantity in a integer format. So let's get started. First, we will just put the order ID as it is, like just to see if we are getting the right data. Now, the first column which we see the order ID, order date that we are casting to date. So we'll see cast order date as date, and let me just execute this and see if we are getting an expected response. Since we know that there is invalid date present inside this order date, so we this query is going to break. Now we can see that invalid date, the string is found, so this is not compatible to convert it. Now for this we have something called save cast. This will perform a casting for a date. If let's say the casting is unable to perform, then that value is converted to null. So this will make sure that our query won't break, and this will take to the further execution. Now we have something called for amount, that is lying again we have an invalid value. So what we can do, we will directly use a safe cast for amount. We'll say amount will cast as float 64. So float 64 is a built-in data type for in BigQuery for a float data. We'll say this alias as amount, and now we can see after execution for this invalid amount we are getting a null value. Similar to this, we can cast a quantity that is present in the string format to integer 64. So we can use save cast again, and we will use that quantity as int 64 so that this will be converted to integer, and we'll say quant. Now after executing this, we will be using we'll be getting the correct data that we can see. Now our data is more meaningful, so this data we can use at the production level or to the some other applications so that our query won't break, our flow will be seamlessly executed. Now one thing to note, when to use a safe cast and when we should go for casting. Now, if we want our flow to be executed smoothly, and if there are invalid data, right, that needs to be casted to null. If the casting is failed to perform the operation, then we can go for safe cast. However, there are some scenarios while working with the data engineering field, right? So there we are comparing our source data with the target data, and we don't want our code silently fail. So in that case, we should go for casting instead of safe cast, because while safecast blindly or silently converting them a null, and that will be a bigger challenge in terms of during a data mismatching, right? So that will unable to give us the correct result in terms of validation. So based on our need, we will go for cast and safecast. I hope guys you have understood the logic for casting, and this will help in your daily progress as you're learning a BigQuery series. So thank you so much for watching this video. Happy learning.